Alright, in today's video I'm going to show you how to change a tire on your 25 Atlas. First thing you want to do is set your parking brake. So go in here to the center part right here, pull up on that, it'll illuminate, and then here on the dash it will say park, which means your parking brake is set, your emergency brake. So the vehicle will not fall off of the jack when you jack it up, because if you don't set the parking brake and you start to jack the vehicle up, it's going to tip over and fall, and that is not going to be good. Next, open up your hatch, and back here you'll find all your stuff, which my customer has already removed. So here would be your jack, here is the crank for the jack, this is your kit with your locking lug nut and the little curly Q thing, or black alligator. This one has the little curly Q in here. So you'll take this and your key for your locking lug nut, which will be in that missing provision right there. Those are your spare lug nuts in case you want to get rid of the locking lug nut and just put regular ones on. I can't show you because they already got it out, but this part right here is what holds the spare tire in. It's like a plastic wing nut thing. So just unscrew that like that and move that out of the way, and that will allow you to bring the spare out. You will have to move this subwoofer. This is just a speaker subwoofer that slides over it. It has this little cord on there. Just slide that out of the way and you'll be good. Next, we want to take this little curly Q thing, stick it into the hole of this little plastic cover. Those are called decorative lug nut cover caps. Pull that off and you'll see your lug nut behind there, or lug stud rather, it being a European car. But there you go, just claw it in there, pull it off, and you see one lug nut is different than the others. That means we have a locking lug nut, and here is our key. This is what it looks like. Has that little fitting in there. You cannot buy these at the part store. They are specific to the vehicle. Also, the dealer will not have one that matches. So if you lose it, you're in big trouble. That's why they have the 4 other lug nuts in there, so you can take this off, because it tends to be a problem. These things get lost. They also get broken, and then you're unable to change your wheel. So we'll take these little caps and put them in there. Okay, so our flat is on the back here. We got a nail or screw or bolt or something in the tire, so we're going to be jacking up the back of the car, but the vehicle has a jacking point in the front and in the back. Okay, so these jacks are a pain in the butt. This is the bottom right here, this is the top, has a little groove in it, and then what you want to do is open it up by cranking it before you get it under the vehicle, because it's a pain in the butt. But get it somewhat open and then put it underneath where you need it. Our flat being in the back, we're going to go to the rear jacking point. So right here, okay, and so over here underneath the vehicle, you'll see the pinch weld, this thin piece of metal right here. That's going to line up on the jack. Just crank that for eternity until it gets up there and meets the bottom of the vehicle. Just gotta crank forever. Oh, actually it goes right here where this big piece of double piece of metal is. So I thought it was a little further over. I can't see, the sun's blinding me, but we're almost there. All right, so it should go right in there like that, right? If your flat was in the front, you would just come over here and go to the same spot underneath the vehicle where you see the double piece of pinch weld metal right there. That's the front jacking point, okay? And now that we've got our jack set, we'll go ahead and grab our jack crank and take the little loop part, loop it in here, and start cranking. But before doing that, we better take our lug wrench here and put it on our lug stud and break it loose. Easiest way to do that is by just stepping on it, and that'll break it loose. Just be careful not to scratch the paint. Get it seated all the way in there. Make sure it's pushed in good, and just push down. and that'll break it loose. If you're strong enough, you could do it by hand. If not, just step on it. Break all these loose before you jack it up, because if you start jacking this thing up first and then you break it loose, it could jar the jack and make it fall. When you're getting ready to break this locking lug nut loose, you want to make sure that you got it seated nice and tight in there, so that way it catches everything and doesn't strip it. So with all the lug nuts broken loose and the jack set, we can start jacking the vehicle up. Hold it like this and crank it up. Watch your knuckles going across the ground. You don't want to scrape them up. And just crank it up until the tire goes off the ground. Just crank forever and ever and ever. And when you think you're done, crank some more. Are we off the ground yet? Okay, we're finally off the ground. Then once you get it off the ground, just take your lug nuts off, lefty loosey. Like so. The lug nuts are off. You can just grab the wheel and pull it, and it'll roll out of your way. Set it down with the rim side facing up. Never set the rim side down, you'll scratch it. Your new wheel, your spare, and roll it in here. Make sure you line up the holes right here with the threaded holes that you have here, not the blank holes that are there. Set the wheel right on the hub right here with the hub hole. You have it lined up with the threaded holes. Take your lug stud, screw it in by hand, one there and one on the bottom. Just take your foot, put it on there. That'll hold it for you. Make sure they screw in nice and easy. If it's not screwing in easy, you did something cheesy. So make sure you unscrew it and try it again until it goes in nice and easy. Screw them in like so. And then once you have that hand tight, take your lug wrench here and tighten it, and then use a cross pattern. So I started here, I would go across, right? And the reason you do that is to seat the wheel correctly to the hub. You don't want to go here and then here and then here, because it could seat it incorrectly and you'd have a wobble and your lug studs would come loose. You don't want that. So tighten them in a cross pattern like that. Then once you get it on the ground, you're going to retighten it again. But it's just righty-tighty like that. And now we'll let our jack down. Same as going up, just in reverse. We're gonna go back down. Make sure you don't scrape those knuckles. You're gonna be really mad walking around with scabby knuckles. Oh man, it's 180 degrees out here today. Free. Are you guys sweating like I am, or is it cold where you're at right now? Jiminy crickety. All right, so take these tools and put them back where they go. So we got to collapse this thing back down. That takes forever, right? Alright, got the jack back where it goes. Everything's in there how it should be. Alright, don't be an idiot. Don't leave this on there so it can fall off and get lost. Make sure you put it back here in the back. I've done that before and it ain't no fun. So, back in the kit it goes. Super important. Always make sure you have that. Okay, so one of the last things we want to do is take our lug wrench, put it in position, and just step on it. And that's going to make it as tight as it needs to be. People ask me all the time, what's the torque specs for this vehicle? And I always reply, does the factory send you a torque wrench? No, they don't. So if the factory doesn't send you a torque wrench, then torque specs are not that important. As long as you put it on as tight as humanly possible, which you could do with your foot. Even a hurt person or a weak person could put it on tight enough with their foot power. So just do it like that and you'll be good. To release the parking brake, just push down on the lever. That will go off. The parking brake is now not set anymore. If it still is, just put it in gear, put it in reverse, and it should come. It should release it then.